I'm Rene. I'm the lab manager at ZIP LaunchPad. So has anyone heard of what ZIP LaunchPad is or what we do here? Oh, awesome. So what we do here is we're a small incubator at San Diego State to help students, faculty, and staff create good products and or their business. Today we're going to go over a prototyping session or workshop that I have. We're going to go over a web development app that creates an app. So it's pretty much like a app development tool. This is our agenda for today. I'm going to talk about what ZIP LaunchPad is and how you can be involved in it. And I'm going to go a deep dive into what prototyping is and how it helps startups save time and money. And after, we're going to do a little workshop with Figma where I'm going to show you how to use this tool. So it's a software that's free to use. You don't have to download anything, and you can just do it right now, which is we build it. So at some point, I'm going to ask you to take out your laptops and create an account so you follow along. After that, we'll have a challenge to split up into your groups that I think you already are split up into.
Yep, the groups.
And we're going to create an app that represents your team as best we can. And we'll have a little quiz competition at the end. So,
and there's prizes for the winners.
yes, there is. I got different ones.
Oh, you brought prizes. Oh, awesome. So we only have an hour on this class. So
Okay,
we got to kind of book
by
it.
3, right?
3:15. No.
Got it. So just to reiterate, ZIP LaunchPad is the start of the SDSU incubator that is free, extracurricular, and helps students, faculty, staff launch and start up in the early stage idea. If you ever want to start your own business or have an idea for a product you want to market and make money off of, this is basically we have had great impact our students. We've seen over 300 ideas and have seen over 600 students come through and do our workshops. And out of those 300, we found that you kind of usually it's 1 out of 10 ideas kind of like be successful. That's kind of like the reality of the world that are able to make no business. The ones that do, and they went through here. There was 29 that launched completely and are making revenue. So those numbers are out of those 29 companies in total have been $17 million revenue, $38 million raised, and have created jobs for about 120 people. It's really great.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be taking pictures when you guys are pitching later today, and so you can use those for your content on your LinkedIn or whatever else you want. I'll share them all with you in Canvas.
So my role in LaunchPad is I'm the manager of the 8th company TL Lab. It's located right across this room, across this window, where we have all the prototyping lab, and all the equipment. So what do we have there? CNCs, 3D printers, laser cutters, anything that's going to help you create your idea into reality. So my role here is to assist the teams in order to create that. And it varies either from being hardware or software. And this presentation, we're going to mostly focus on the software. But some of the resources that you can get from the LaunchPad is one of the big ones, non-equity funding. So we can give you up to $10,000 to start your own idea, to buy supplies, to hire an engineer, to hire a graphic designer for you to build your product or your business. And it's non-equity, that's key. We take no part of what you're doing, which is great. We have legal and mentorship help from industry experts and IP, corporate, actual legal experts. So what does that mean? You can answer any questions you have from IP, medical device, in the medical space, like automotive, and we have mentors that have gone through it. They have become an entrepreneur. Not only that, a successful entrepreneur that is now running all kinds of businesses. So no matter what industry you're interested in, there's someone that can help you and has gone through it. So those two are like what the major resources really. We used to have a 24-hour co-working space. So this space was open to students who were part of the ZIP LaunchPad 24 hours. So it was always fun to see, people like working here like at 2 a.m. on the pitch strategy, putting up the code together, or it's kind of brainstorming ideas like late at night. Personally, COVID kind of killed that kind of a culture, but once this whole thing is over, hopefully it comes back. And prototyping tools. So that's where I usually come in and have the expertise or the machines, or can advise you to someone who does. Most of the manufacturing is not really done here, but we can outsource some of the more complicated or bigger volumes of products. So, any questions about the resources and anything in particular? Yes.
So the next time they can apply for the ZIP is
Oh, yeah,
when?
yeah, that's-
Oh,
So, ways to get involved. The main way to get involved is to apply to be part of the cohort. We have 3 application dates, one for spring, one for summer, and one for fall. Fortunately, the one for spring just closed on Sunday, so there's no chance you can get for the semester. But summer is open in late spring, and fall is open late summer. Another way to get involved is with our events. We have events open to everyone, and these events consist of speakers of successful entrepreneurs. So actually, this Friday we have a speaker from our founder that didn't go through this ZIP LaunchPad method, but it is a San Diego local. So she is reaching out and presenting on Friday.
and this could count for one of your 2 events that you have to go to over the course of the semester if you want to use it as one.
And it's really easy. It's on Zoom. All you have to do is RSVP and listen to a talk, but it is an hour. But last but not least is the paid internships. You get paid for when you know what to do. So like your skills as a marketing analyst, as a financial analyst, as like a creative thinker or anything like that, you can be paid to assist someone who's making something with at the Launchpad. So if a team needs an engineer or graphic designer, they can go to a database full of graphic designers, engineers that can hire you to work for them, which potentially can lead for a collaboration for you to join as a co-founder. So this is a great experience because you get to get paid for what you would already do. So most people, yeah. Question.
What are the windows for the internships? Can you just like stick your name in the database at any time?
Exactly. So the internships are open all the time. We will have a career an internship fair in March. What that is, it's like speed dating. It's kind of cool. We have all the teams that are looking for certain things. We have all the potential interns, and they match, or they kind of get like a 2-minute pitch of what their company is, and who you are, and how you can
So that was in
March. I think March 5th, but I'll give the date. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, once you get to our website, we have all our events and our dates there. Any other questions about any of these ways? Yes.
Where do you RSVP for the event?
Great question. I have a website. It'll make more sense at the end. I put at the end when we always remind everyone to do that. But this is Amy Schmidt. She is going to be our speaker for this Friday, and so details for this are found on our website. Our website is ziplaunchpad.scu.edu. If you don't remember that, it will be at the end of the slideshow, so no need to write it down. But Jamie is the founder of this company that makes a deodorant and hygiene products. And I don't know if you guys have heard of this brand before, but it's big, and she started it all herself. So it's gonna be a really interesting talk. That's gonna be happening this Friday at 11 a.m. on Zoom. So I'll put this again at the end of the presentation too. Cool. So now into our prototyping section of presentation. Does anyone give me a good definition of what a prototype is?
What's a prototype? Even a partial definition.
Yeah.
concept.
A concept? Okay, I think one more. Orange, a little bit. Oh. Yeah. Idea? You were gonna say?
Did a rough draft of like,
Right.
so
Yeah, so it's like the first iteration, like whatever you write down the first time, that's a prototype. I like to say all big ideas are on a small paper. Any idea you have, if it's not worth writing, it's not worth pursuing. So the way we prototype is we first find what our problem is, demonstrate what the problem is, and if it's worth solving. Why would you spend so much time and hours working on a problem that no one cares about? So that's the first step, finding out what the pain point is, like why is the problem, finding who experienced the problem, and how they experience it, and what features can assist by helping the problem. Once you demonstrate that you have a problem worth solving, you go ahead and create a prototype, which can look like anything really. But the first thing is always going to be on paper. You don't have to write down what it is, draw what it is. imagine what it is with a piece of paper or a sketch. Once you do that, you do it again and again and again until you get close to where your solution is going to be. And that at the end of that is going to be solution development. So we have iterative steps to do this. We have this build, measure, learn cycle, where the first thing is you build your prototype, you get something that has the customers, you either can sketch something out, draw it out, hand it to someone, and then they'll give you some feedback. They're like, I like this for these reasons, or I hate this for these reasons. And that's when you measure and see what results came from that. Then you learn and iterate again. So you learn from what they tell you, you make the adjustment, the changes, and you do it again. This is the most important and critical part of prototyping because when starting a startup, there's two major assets: money and time. What do you think is more important? Startups.
Money or time?
Money? Time. Well, it's found that you can get more money, but you can't get more time.
Right.
Right? So that's why time is usually the most, the biggest constraint when it comes to startup. So the way to counteract that is to go and take it as seriously as you can and make it as many times as you can in order to, save some time, and as opposed to creating a prototype or a device that is not fully defined. So when you go and sell it, people don't like it because you didn't do your work and find exactly what they need. So there's some examples of what this looks like. These are just hardware and software. For hardware, you can think of something, put it on paper, and then put it onto a digital form, which is called a CAD file, which is computer-aided design, and you can create it, make a video, either manufacturing with wood or carbon or something, or 3D printing, and literally like giving it to someone and seeing how they feel about it, or putting it into the system that might work here. But what about a service? How would you prototype a service? Any ideas?
So, keep it provided to one person.
Right, that's good. That's a good one. So service gets tricky because it's like, it's something you provide. So how do you show that it works? Again, it kind of comes down to paper. Use a flow chart of like how the service is going to serve you and why you should care or why you shouldn't. So this is a company called Kitty Commute that went through the ZIP LaunchPad, and they provide a service. And I would like you to see the video and see what you think the service is. So this was created with a software that was free or very cheap. I don't remember exactly, but they hired someone to make this video, and it's very simple. It's not anything like high animation or anything like that, but it gets the point across. And what do you think is the service that are providing?
Louder?
Why is that important? Like, what's the feature? Like, what do you get out of it? Right. And in the video, instead of telling you, well, they did tell you you'll save more time, but they also showed you what you do with that time. Right? The person doing yoga, working out, or whatever. It's all about like kind of thinking ahead of what your customer is going to want to feel and kind of create it around that. So prototypes are just like a way to demonstrate what your product or app is going to do for the customer. So these are just some more examples of what prototypes could be. Like hand sketches are a big part of this. Does anyone know what a landing page is? The landing page is the first thing that you see when you go into a website. That is the most important part of the website because it's going to determine if you're going to stay or you're going to leave. Most people, make up their mind in the first few seconds. Making a good landing page is always important. The best example is like Apple, right? Like you can imagine, by just me saying that, you can imagine what it looks like and how I feel about it. There's also 3D models and 3D prints. Something like maybe you can hand it physically to someone and you can get some feedback. renderings and demonstration video are, something digital you can see, like this video or like a CAD drawing. And augmented reality, that's kind of like the next step, right? If you're following the whole NFT craze, augmented reality is a way to prototype what the world's going to be in the future. Does anyone have any questions about these kind of prototypes? Cool.
So all of you are going to need to create a prototype for your ideas that we're working on in the class. So it's really important that you figure out how to do it. And this is a great way. You're going to do it, practice it today.
So this is an example of a step-by-step of how to make an app. So you ever want to make an app or something similar to an app, you would first go ahead and start with paper. We'll draw it out. What does it look like? How many boxes or options do we have? Then after that, you have your flow charts, where you're going to click and where you're going to go. You have a better sketch with colors, a little more high better text. So once you have that, you can go ahead and move on to Figma, which is what we're using today. Figma is a free software that requires no download, and it's perfect for app development because you can just create the flow of what you want your app to do without actually having to know any code. When people think about like app development, you can think, oh, I can't do it because like I have to code or like I don't know any funny language. But the reality is you don't. This is pretty much, I like to call it a glorified slideshow or PowerPoint presentation. The biggest tool that Figma provides is the ability to create buttons. So I asked them about buttons that like once you click this, you go to a different screen. That's like the secret sauce of this software. You're using that correctly and efficiently, you can make really complicated apps that look like Snapchat, but your own version of it. So we're gonna go ahead and start the workshop for that. So if everyone who has a laptop, please pull it out and follow along. And again, this is like a tool that you might think of later. Like to think of this as like a planting a seed as to what an idea could become later. Because after this, you realize that you can build an app if you need to. You might not need to eventually, but it's always good to know that. So we're gonna go to figma.com and make an account. So make an account using a Google or like your email. And let me know if you have any questions or something that's confusing, raise your hand and let me know. But I'll give you a couple minutes to make an account. Figma.com. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with like the app interface with it, like how to interface with an app. But yeah, feel free to follow along. I'm sure it's not too different. So does anyone have an account? Not yet. One more minutes. When you do create an account, you'll have two options. It says design and then whiteboard or something like that. Click on design. Design with Figma as opposed to whiteboard. Well, once you do that, you should end up at a certain website that looks like this. Like this is called your dashboard. And once more people get to this point, I'll continue. Anyone have any issues or questions, problems, concerns? Is everyone on this web page, like a dashboard?
You said design.
Design. The design with Figma, not whiteboard. Design with Figma. And if you don't have a laptop, look at someone who does. Or you just follow along. So I'm gonna assume that most of you are already at the dashboard. If anyone has an issue, let me know. But I'm gonna show you what a sneak peek as to what you can do with this software. This is one of the apps that was created by one of the students that was created a detailing app. So their idea was to have that you can put your information, your car, your address, and have someone come and clean your car based on what your preferences for, like, packages of cleaning is. So they created this app that obviously you're not gonna download this app today, but it kind of shows what the app would look like and what his vision is for it. So that's the name of the app. So Figma provides this like a mock phone, and it kind of uses like that white circle to pretend it's my finger. So I can if I click around here, some blue boxes show up, meaning those are clickable actions or clickable elements. You go ahead and register, select my account, have a client account, and these are obviously mock-up emails and stuff like that. So I can click next. What kind of make, model, and car, and year, all that stuff. And then I can click it there. And then again, now we'll log in. And then it would bring it to a menu with what kind of choices I have. If I want to wash, I will click wash and choose what kind of like a basic package I want or whatever. The premium, and what kind of detail I want. Let's get platinum. And then bring it back to the menu. Obviously, no one's gonna come to my car, but it kind of shows what the app is gonna look like. This is a great tool that you can show to investors or someone you want to like convince of an app. This is the best way to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and work on this on one together. So go ahead and click a new design file up here on the top left. Once you do that, you'll see the workspace. It looks like this. If you guys have ever used Illustrator or any kind of like software that requires you to use elements, this is gonna be very similar. We're first gonna start by creating our frame, meaning what kind of phone or device we're gonna have. So on the top left, we have our button there, second to left button here, and we're gonna click frame. We're gonna click that and the drop down menu. Click frame and then select. So here we have different kind of devices we can choose. I usually just go for like the most recent iPhone, since that's the most common. So we can click on that, and then it creates a mock of what the phones look like. What we're gonna do is just add elements to this, like you would in like a PowerPoint or something. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and click elements over here on the top left. We can get a rectangle. We can put it at the bottom and just click and drag. For the sake of this presentation, I'm going to kind of show you the basic mechanics of how this works. So I'm going to show you how to add text. So you can add text up here. Just click and write your name or something that differentiates it. And I can just make it bigger. If I want to edit my text on the right is where you find all the tools to do that. I can change that 12 to 72. Cool. So if I want to add a second page, so I'll make an actionable thing, I have to add multiple frames. So I'm gonna have to add I'm gonna add a second frame so that I can go to. So I'm gonna do the same thing and click frame up here. And then select the same phone, iPhone 13. Okay. So what I want is when I click this button or this element here, this rectangle, I want it to go to this next one. So how I do that is I click on whatever I want to be actionable, and then up here on the prototype tab on the top right, click that, and it's going to activate the actionable sequences. So I can click and drag this circle to this next one.
You have a phone charger you can borrow for a iPhone 10, I think. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
So I can click and drag that circle, into the next frame, and this pop-up will appear that allows you to demonstrate that. So once I have that, you should see this arrow go from one to the other. But in this case, I'll need another button to go from the second to the first. I'm just gonna do it again. I'm gonna add an element, a rectangle, and just click and drag. And since I'm already in the prototype tab, this circle will appear here. So you can click and drag that. So once I have my flow ready, I can go ahead and preview this or present from the top left. And it'll show up like it would on the phone, right? It started on the second one because I was like selected over here. But once I click this, it would move to this one. So that's kind of like the basics, like the bare bones, like all you need to know to kind of use this app. It's pretty much like creating complex stuff like this. I mean, creating simple stuff like this, create more complicated stuff. So in order to challenge ourselves and learn this, how it's meant to be learned, we're gonna have a little challenge. Well, we'll have you group up with your team, and you'll have to do at least 2 apps. You can do more than if you want, but we want you to expressly or introduce your company or idea as most creative as you can, and using the tools that you find in Figma that I showed you, and there's a lot more that you can find if you just poke around a bit.
Creatively and quickly. So you can use the idea that you already have been working on if that idea is for an app. If it's not an app, come up with something. I'm sure at least one of your team ideas that you guys pitched each other was for an app. You can use that, and then
If it's not, we can still use it as like a pitch competition.
yeah, you can still pitch whatever you have. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Whatever you have, you can pitch this way. So I would love it though if you actually use the idea, use the idea that you've been working on, and then after you won't have a lot of time to work on this, so as quickly as you can, and then when we're judging it, we're going to judge based on your idea, but then also on your pitching.
Yeah. So to take that into consideration, we're building the app. Is everyone clear as to what the requirements and rules are? Cool. So I'll give you
15
like 15 minutes. Meet up with a group, switch the chairs and all that, and I'll be walking around.
He'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, well, once you're here in this study, click share on the top left. That makes sense? That clear to everybody?
So everybody, you see that blue button, click share on the top left, top right, left. And then send it to that email, and one person from each team, and then we're gonna come up and present. Now, can I apply that? So when you guys are presenting, it doesn't matter if one person or a couple of people present, but it must be under a minute. So 30 seconds is better. We want to keep them short. We want to be loud. We want to present to the back row. You want to make sure that you include in your presentation. What do you want to include in your presentation? The name, your name.
Yeah, the name, the name, what problem you're solving, and where your solution is.
Okay, so problem.
Who your target audience is. Is it not the first one? This is the website. The first one's so Audrey Parrots.
Yeah.
You're doing me first. But in the night. Charlie. You're gonna be second. Mahima or you're gonna be third.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or Mahima here. Yeah, you'll be third. Dana. 4. Dana. 5. Thomas. 6. Nathaniel. 7. I'm missing someone.
Who's not sent it yet?
Maybe 2.
No, just your name. When you come up here, you talk with everybody.
You did something? You guys. What's the name of the person? Might take a while. Oh, I did it for Frank. Yeah.
Did you guys send it? Doctor, did you guys send it?
Okay, let's go ahead and get an Audrey started.
Make sure you tell your name, the name of your team members, the name of what you're selling, what product or service, and then your problem and solution. And don't forget to say that name so we can write it down. So we have to hurry, guys, fast, because you don't have a lot of time. So no lollygagging, let's just move it. And I'll take pictures that you can hopefully use on your LinkedIn or wherever else.
All right, guys.
All right, come on, everyone.
Bring me what?
Okay, our product is Jingle Pods. I'm Oliana.
I'm a vibe.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Zeus.
And our product is the bed.
So you're
You know when it's time to go. So basically, if you think about us, essentially it's a unique product that's going to allow you to procure cleaning service or non-cleaning service, line cleaning service, to ensure better success for both pets and you as owners. And then how does it work? Essentially, it's 2 steps. The product is going to be bells on the door. So after associating the dog with the bells, essentially like every time they go outside, that association kind of influences in their brain. The bells will be associated with this app. And the app will notify you, especially in today's age where everyone's working from home, that your dog is ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job. Go ahead.
All right, I'm trying to split. I'm Jake
I'm Chad, and so basically what we're trying to solve is how fire's contractor fire safety program is a pretty cumbersome process. You basically have to show up in person, basically to go through an online process already. So we're going to try and solve that problem by just making it completely online.
If you click on the online fire safety training, basically where we're offering online remote fire safety training, and if you click the text box again, it takes you to who we offer it to. Basically, it's all these people that are under private contractors. So the water center operators, heavy equipment drivers and operators, crew bus drivers, vehicles with the driver, mechanics, haulers, and swampers. And that's all we have.
Who's 3?
Alright, so our product is called Fresh Track, and it's an app that pretty much lets you know when your food products are going to expire. So whenever you have food in the fridge and you don't know when it's going to expire, it gives you a notification to the specific date, and it pretty much reminds you when it's going to expire.
Yeah, so when you buy groceries, you can just input when the expiration date is, or when you bought it, and then, like Marco said, it will give you reminders, because a lot of people struggle with the fact that they just throw away produce at the end of the week because they forget it's there. By the time they remember it, it's bad.
Good job.
Good job. Alright, so go ahead and start.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cody. This is Ed. I'm Daniel.
I'm Dana.
And our product is juice. And what we're looking to do is to prevent people from having dead phones at music festivals. So essentially, we don't have the photo any longer. It wasn't showing up. If we go to the next slide, we're going to have lockers, and you're going to put your phone inside of the locker, so you don't have to stand near it. You don't have to carry cell phone charging battery, and essentially, it could be cumbersome or it could be troublesome. If you don't have a cell phone at a festival and you get separated from somebody, people don't usually have phone numbers remembered anymore. So this will prevent hazardous situations like that.
Nice. So, we're on Jenna. Who's Jenna? Yeah, I'm gonna mess with the numbers. Hold on. All right. Are you ready?
So our product is called Mask Me Beyond. As you can see through the pictures, it's aiming to get rid of acne under your mask caused by your mask and wearing it. Click the shop now. It will take you to our two products, which is a treatment mask and treatment spray. And yeah, that's how it gets.
Alyssa? I say, what's your name?
Yeah, they need to go. So can they go?
Yeah, Alyssa, yeah.
Let's start when you're ready.
All right, so our product is Magic Fit Leggings, and it's on shop now. It's our leggings with a silicone waistband, which helps the leggings stay up and stay secure and not fall out. So it's basically it.
Nice. Good job. Thomas?
All right. So this is called PD return. So people come to you. Okay, so what our service does is people come to you and pick up the packages that you want to return, like when they deliver, but it's the opposite. So if you click log in, brings you here. So there's a profile, the map's going to be like how like Uber is, and it shows you where people like near you that come pick up the packages, and if you click the return, here, you can take a picture of the box, the note they come in, grab, the description, and then what shipping company the business you're trying to return the package to is, and if you put it in, they all work, but they go. All right.
Nathaniel? What?
So our idea is it's an app that helps optimize. It's a meal planning app that helps optimize your full grocery shopping. So when we begin, takes you to the home page where you see alerts for the food ingredients that are expensive or cheap at the moment for this month. And at the bottom, there's a whole list of recipes that you can select from. And when you click onto the recipes, it gets into this like sorting feature where you can filter by ingredients, the price, and a whole bunch of other kind of meals where you can optimize whatever ingredient that you bought or are going to buy.
Eduardo.
Everybody turn on. Okay, I'm Diana. What we have is a product instead of a service. We're going to incorporate an app for our product. So it is a portable mini washing machine that you can take anywhere with you. You can take it in your car, you can take it on the plane, you can use it in your hotel room. So we just made it as simple and user-friendly as possible. You can start, and on the screen you can choose if you want to wash it, if you want to try it. And so wash this and dry it, and then you're gonna have something for the next screen where you can choose the individual settings. Do you want it low, tiny, or wash?